you just arrived in Canada as an international student, you probably think that your biggest problem is passing your exam or getting a job. While you're not completely wrong, there is another problem that I'm going to open your eyes to in this video. As of 2026, Canada runs completely on a three-digit number known as the credit score. If you do not have good credit history, Canadian landlords would literally not let you rent an apartment. You won't be able to finance a car. You won't get a good cell phone plan. And some employers won't even hire you. As an international student, back home in my country, Nigeria, we were always taught that credit is evil. As a matter of fact, anything that you see a Nigerian own, 100% that person purchased it with cash. We do not have a good credit system. So most things that are paid for are paid in cash. In Canada, it is the opposite. Credit here is everything. In this video, I'll be telling you how to manage your credit as an international student in Canada. I'll show you how to get your first credit card, plus the 3 golden rules of how to build a 750 plus score or more in a few months. I'll also be talking about some of the massive mistakes that international students make that destroys their financial future in Canada. Now, let's get into the gist. Let's start with one of the most asked questions. Can I just use my debit card? The answer is yes, you can, but no for building your financial future in Canada. For every time you use a debit card, of course, you're using your own money, which ordinarily shouldn't be a big deal. But then again, it's not recorded anywhere, especially with the credit bureaus in Canada. That way, it doesn't help with building your credit score. Here in Canada, people use credit cards. The credit cards can be issued by your bank. Now, the money in the credit card is not your money. The money is the bank's money. When you use your credit card to pay for bills and you pay back that money, you are sort of building trust with your financial institution and telling them that you're trustworthy. A credit score ranges from 300 to 900. As a student, your goal should be to get at least a 700 credit score as fast as possible. Now, how do you achieve that? If you've already been in Canada for a few months, do you know your credit score? You can flex it a bit in the comment section if it's above 700. If it's below 700, no worries, I'll help you fix that in this video. Now, how do you get your first credit card as an international student with zero history? As an international student in Canada, you have what is called the newcomer's VIP pass. Almost every Canadian bank has a newcomer banking package, and that includes for international students. When you open your checking account, they would usually give you an unsecured credit card with a limit of maybe 1,000 or 1,500 Canadian dollars. We usually give that without necessarily running a credit check on you because, of course, you do not have a credit history. So when they offer you that, take it immediately. When you request for a student credit card from your bank and they say no, ask for something called a secure credit card. What this means is you can give the bank as little as 500 Canadian dollars and they'll give you a credit card with 500 Canadian dollar limit. And then within the course of a year, they would study your spending history and how you are able to repay back on that. And when they see that you have managed that properly, they would upgrade you based on your track record. So the $500 you've given to them at the initial stage is foolproof and more like an insurance or a collateral for the credit card that will be issued to you. Let's talk about the 3 golden rules of Canadian credit. Rule number 1 is where 90% of international students fail. It is called credit utilization. Your credit utilization should never be above 30%. What that means is if a bank gives you a credit card of 1,000 Canadian dollar limit, do not spend more than $300 on that card. That means in a month, you're not spending more than $300 in a single month. If you max out your card, even if you pay back later, the credit bureau will panic. They will think that you're desperate for money and your score will drop. Rule number 2, paying your bill. When you look at your banking app, you're going to see 2 numbers. One is your current balance and the other is your statement balance. Make sure to always pay your statement balance at least 3 days before the due date. Credit card interest rates are usually high, some as high as 20%, some as high as 25%. If you only pay your minimum payment, which is usually $10 on that card, the bank will still charge you that 20 to 25% on the entire amount outstanding on the card. This is how students get trapped in thousands of dollars in debt. Make sure to pay that statement balance in full every single month before the payment due date. Treat it exactly like a debit card. How I operate mine is, before I use a credit card to make payment for anything, I calculate what is coming into my account or what is already in my account. If that money is not going to land in my account before the statement due date, I would not pay for that item until maybe the next statement date. See it as a balancing and balancing out account where your debit or your checking account holds the money for you that you use for your credit card. That way, once you make any payment from your credit card, you are replacing that money from your checking account back into the credit card. Rule number 3 is a massive 2026 hack. You're paying hundreds of dollars in rent every month, right? Use free apps such as Borrowwell to report your rent payment. That way, you get credit for the money that you're already spending. This helps build your credit really fast. Before you leave, you must avoid these 2 deadly traps. Trap number 1, hard inquiries. Hard inquiries on your card affect your credit score negatively. When you go to certain stores to buy winter clothes or groceries, for example, the cashier would ask you, do you want to save 10% on this purchase by opening a store credit card today? Your answer should be a big no. Every time you apply for credit from any source, your bank does a hard check or hard inquiry on your credit profile. And by doing so, your score drops 5 or 10% lower. Do not apply for multiple credit cards in your first year. I repeat, do not apply for multiple credit cards in your first year, no matter how tempting the offers are. Trap number 2, pay your tuition fees using your credit card. Most universities charge as much as 2.5% as convenience fee for using your credit card to pay for tuition. That means on a 10,000 Canadian dollars tuition fee, you're paying a charge of about $250 to the bank for free. Instead, use wire transfers or your debit cards for such kinds of transactions. Managing credit in Canada is actually very simple. It's not as complicated as people make it seem. Just do not spend above 30% of your credit limits. What that means is, before your statement due date, make sure that the balance outstanding on your credit account is not more than 30% of your card limit. Also, ensure that you pay your statement balance in full every month and do not take credit cards that you do not need. Do not apply for credit cards that you do not need. Do not fall for the trap of store credit here and there because they affect your credit score adversely. Once you understand your credit card statement's date period, ensure that whatever transaction you carry out with your credit card during that period is going to be offset with your checking account. Make sure that you already have the money somewhere to clear that balance out before your due date on your credit card statement. An additional hack that I will give to you to also increase your credit score is that if you have used your credit card for at least 1 year and you have been faithful in your payments over time, not the minimum payment, I mean clearing the whole balance in the credit card. One thing I'll advise you to do is to ask your bank to increase your limits. For me, I started with a credit card of 1,000 Canadian dollars. After a year, when I had contacted the bank to solve another issue, they actually proposed to me that they would like to increase my credit limit because I have been faithful in paying back the balance on my statement. So I was pre-approved for a credit card limit increase. So it was increased from 1,000 Canadian dollars to 1,005 Canadian dollars. So that helps also increase my points. That increase alone added about 21 points to my credit score. Now with the new balance of 1.5, I also ensure not to spend above 30% of 1.5. So you get the gist. If this video has been helpful to you and has saved you from making a huge financial mistake, click on the subscribe button, share this video with as many people as possible, and leave your comments in the comment section if you have any questions for me. I'll also attach the link to the Borrow Well app in the description box. This is not an advertisement. It is just a tool that I have been using ever since I arrived, and I haven't had any issues with them. Do not get tempted by credit offers on the app. Just focus on what you are on the app for to monitor your credit. Now that you know how to build your credit score, you also need to learn about some of the harsh realities about being an international student here in Canada. I have a video talking about the harsh reality of student life in Canada, especially as an international student. I'm going to attach the link up here so it takes you directly to the video, and also drop the link in the description box. Until my next video, bye for now.